Hello guys, and welcome back to another video of mine where I will be going to give you my reviews, my thoughts and my scores on the dances and the performances of City Drum Dancing 2020 week 5. So let's begin without further ado with the first couple, Harvey and Jeanette and the salsa. What an incredible way to open the show. Harvey came with one heck of a bang, phenomenal sense of rhythm, incredible lifts, incredible tricks. He coped with this uneasy choreography fantastically well. His energy was off the charts. He was totally in sync with Jeanette and he gave a feeling of a party. Having said all that, I wanted him to settle much more into his hips and using his toes in order to create the figure 8 in his hips, because it was missing in some parts, especially in the basic step. It was perfect in terms of physicality and style, but it could have been much better in terms of footwork. I would really love to see much more rotation of the hips because it's essential in the salsa, and I will score this dance a 7. And let's continue with Ranveer and Giovanni and the Cha-Cha-Cha. Sadly, it wasn't Ranveer's dance. I loved the traditional piece of music. I loved the choreography because it had loads of proper cha-cha content, but Ranveer's execution was full of mistakes. She didn't straight her legs at all, meaning that she danced with the whole dance with both of her knees bent almost all the time, and that prevented her from creating hip action and accenting the music properly with her movement. I really hope she does better next time because she has already proven how wonderful she can be. I love the partnership between her and Giovanni. I really loved Ranveer's sense of rhythm, but as I have already said, this routine was full of mistakes. There was almost no step that she did correctly in terms of leg action, and my score for this cha-cha-cha is sadly just 5. And let's continue with Max and Diane and the American Smooth. After last week's performance where Max was totally in character, I was expecting him to have an incredible performance in his next dance, but I was disappointed. The thing that I didn't like the most in this routine was the total lack of artistry. Max didn't portray the character of the dance. He didn't show any emotion. In addition, he was stiff. He wasn't pushing hard enough into the floor with the balls of his feet. He didn't create any sway, and he wasn't leading Diane. And this is important because in ballroom the man is the leader. He is like a driver or a sailor who is navigating through the dance floor, while the woman is like a flower in a vase who reacts and who listens to the man that leads her. I also wasn't keen on the choreography and I found it a bit boring, to be honest. All in all, Max had a decent frame and a good footwork, but he was very uncomfortable. He didn't take control of the dance and he didn't show any emotion, and I wasn't surprised really he was eliminated, meaning that between him and Maisie I would definitely choose Maisie without any doubt, because she was 100% better, and I would score this American Smooth 6. And let's continue with JJ and Amy and the Jive. It certainly wasn't JJ's best dance, and it was the weakest dance of the night, and JJ and Amy should be very, very grateful that the public saved them. It lacked sharpness, his feet were not pointed during the kick, his steps were too big, there was no hip rotation in the Jive's chassis. It was a bit flat-footed, and he missed almost all the steps in the tall heel swivel steps. It was such a shame because his musicality was pretty good and he was pretty confident on the dance floor, and he portrayed the character of the dance, and above all his partnership with Amy was lovely as usual. If he could only work harder. If he only works harder on the technical fundamentals of the dance, he will be able to amaze us all. And my score for this Jive, sadly, is just a 4. And I really hope he does much better next time. And let's continue with Maisie and Gorka and the Cha-Cha-Cha. This dance was really underscored in my opinion. Wow! The beginning was so creative, and then Maisie has wowed me with her technicality, terrific musicality, absolutely magnificent footwork, lovely hip action, lovely straightening of the legs. I didn't find almost anything wrong with her footwork. For me, it was pretty flawless. She really showed the understanding of the technicality of this dance. I could have watched this dance on and on. It reminded me of Jill Halfpenny's Cha-Cha back in Series 2. If I have to be picky, Maisie's arms were a bit weak. Her movement of the arms, the movement of her arms was a bit incorrect, but other than that, it was truly superb, very close to perfection. It was probably the best Cha-Cha I've ever seen on Strictly. And she definitely shouldn't have been in the dance-off without any doubt. And I will score this Cha-Cha-Cha a 9. And let's continue with Bill and Otti and the street dance. Loads of style, loads of groove. It was fantastic. I'm usually not a fan of this whole couple choice thing, but this dance put a big smile on my face. It had proper music, it had loads of actual street dance moves. Bill has proven yet again that his musicality is just out of this world. He coped amazingly well with this intricate choreography that had a lot of small details and nuances. He was kind of cool. It was such a joy to behold this routine. This choreography, as I've said, was not easy and had tons of details, but he didn't miss a step. He was totally in it from the first beat of the music until the last one. Sensational. What can I say? I definitely want to see Bill in the final. He is truly inspiring, and I will score this street dance a 9. And let's continue with Caroline and Jonathan the Wolves. Yet again, I have already said that in the past. Yet again, I have a feeling that Caroline is not progressing, and I don't know exactly why. Sadly, This was like all her previous dances, felt too safe for me. I loved her frame, I loved her partnership with Johannes. She portrayed the character of the waltz pretty good, and her footwork was pretty impressive, but her head position was bad. There was gapping, there was no sway, and I wanted to see her driving more the balls of her feet with the balls of her feet while moving backwards. It was a solid number, but I really want her to step up her game, and I will score these waltz a 6. And let's continue with Jamie and Karen and the samba. Great sense of rhythm, wonderful synchronization between Jamie and Karen, very nice footwork, lots of proper samba content. It was another routine that put a big smile on my face. After Maisie Cha-Cha-Cha and Bill's street dance, samba is a very tough dance. For the most part, it was truly fantastic. His whisk, for example, was probably the best whisk I've ever seen in terms of lead action. Unfortunately, it was lacking hip action during the voltas, and his batucadas as well as his stationary samba work weren't that great, but other than that, it was lovely and amazing. I absolutely loved his Botafogo's, for example. He can be proud of himself because he stepped up his game and he has delivered a great dance. He has done really great, and I will score this samba a 7. And last up are Clara and Aliash and the Charleston. What a magnificent way to close the show. It was so cute, so stylish, so lovely to behold. It was like watching a scene from a musical from the 20s or from the 30s. It was without a trace of a doubt Clara's best dance yet. She acted the dance phenomenally well. Her sense of rhythm was just spot on. She was so light on her feet. It was 100%. She was 100% in sync with Aliash. Her swivels could have been a tad more compact if I have to be picky, and I would love to see a bit more of them in the routine. But other than that, it was truly magical, brilliant, sparkling, and amazing. And my score for this Charleston is a 9! A lot of 9s today. I really hope you have enjoyed my review. Don't forget to subscribe and see you soon.